Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's Abbie again, and I hope you're all doing amazingly well. Today's video is going to be all about what I wish I knew before I became a chartered accountant. Now, I've had the opportunity to work both in practice and in industry, so along the way I've developed some key insight. Let's jump straight into the video. Here are 5 key things that I wish I knew before I became a chartered accountant. Salary secrecy. So even today, employers are still struggling to be open about compensation, but especially in accounting firms, salary transparency is very uncommon. And because of this, a lot of employees don't know how their pay will be determined or what their employer's pay practices actually are. Now, I will eventually do a video all about the earning potential within the accounting and finance profession because we don't gatekeep over here. But it's so interesting how this profession often differs to other professions which have quite defined salary bands which you can work to as your level of expertise and training increases within the profession. But when training to become a chartered accountant, you often can't expect a pay rise until you pass each level of exams, and even still you're often not sure what that pay rise will be. So I would strongly advise that you become acquainted with other people within your workplace who are perhaps slightly ahead of you in your career or have already been through these processes, because they can guide and advise you on what type of salary to expect in future or what type of pay rise you could potentially ask for. They may even share some insight into what the pay processes are within your workplace. It will also prepare you for conversations and negotiations with your manager when the time does come, so that you know what to ask for and you know what to expect. But regardless, whether you work in firm or in industry, I would strongly suggest that you do your market research before entering any conversations regarding career progression or pay rises. You can use salary surveys at least to determine whether your salary is fair and whether your salary is in line with the market average. Working hours. Get rid of the concept that you strictly work from 9 to 5. Now, your average working hours per week will actually really depend on what company you work for and what country you live in. But regardless, the accounting and finance industry is actually quite well known for its long working hours. So if I were you, I'd get very familiar with the possibility that you won't be leaving the office at 5 on the dot. If after qualifying as a chartered accountant, you decide to move into financial services, consulting, banking even, the working hours actually get a lot worse. But for general accountancy jobs, the working hours do play with the boundaries a little bit, but it's never by an unreasonable amount. For me, the longest working hours tend to come around month end, quarter end, year end, and even tax season, because you have a high volume of tight deadlines and sometimes you have to sacrifice a portion of your evenings in order to meet them. I will say though that sitting exams whilst working full-time definitely prepares you for the stressful periods that you will face during your career, and that leads me on to the stress. Tax season, month end, quarter end, year end, it can be very stressful. You've got all these deadlines coming at you and all these expectations from different levels within the firm. Especially if you are still studying, it really does help to have a good manager who's just good at lessening the stress or sharing responsibilities throughout the team. But despite that, you have to learn for yourself how to manage your time effectively so that you're not too stressed when it gets closer to those deadlines. And alongside that, I also found a way to develop a healthy work-life balance so that I don't burn out very quickly around these stressful times. I always made sure that I had something outside of work which I could look forward to, whether it be every week or every month, just something beyond those stressful periods at work which will help you relieve stress and help you have something to get you through those busy periods at work. It's not just about the numbers. The modern accountant is now required to go beyond the numbers, analyze them, and use them to make strategic decisions. Strategic decision making is a skill that you'll need to learn, and having strong business acumen and commercial awareness will enable you to be effective in your strategic decision making. And even though numbers will always be at the heart of the finance and accounting profession, you'll often have to mix hard skills and soft skills in order to really deliver value to your clients and your stakeholders. And on a daily basis, you'll find yourself using strategic, analytical, and detail-oriented skills alongside communication, critical thinking, collaboration, and even leadership skills in your role. And this combination of hard skills and soft skills allows you to become a more trusted, effective, and highly valuable accountant, which then enables you to progress even further in your career. Learning. You will find yourself learning on the job quite often. And that's not because you are inexperienced or underqualified. It's simply because a lot of industries often require very specialized knowledge in order for you to fulfill your responsibilities. And because of that, you'll often find yourself doing tasks or learning new things which you've never done or even learnt about throughout university or your professional qualification. So yes, a lot of the tasks in this profession can be very specific to the industry that you're working in, and there is a lot of learning that takes place after university and after your qualification. So don't be afraid to apply for roles in new industries or new practices, because as long as you have the willingness to learn and you know the fundamentals, all you need now is the confidence to take on the new challenge. In my current role as a finance manager, I've had to learn a whole new data visualization software, and this is something I'd never had exposure to in any of my previous roles. However, it's very quickly become one of my favorite parts of the job, even though it's something that's very new to me and I've never had exposure to before. So I say all of that to say that anything new that you face in your career offers you the opportunity for professional development and hands-on learning, whether you're a trainee or an experienced professional. So you can find out how I became a chartered accountant by checking out my previous video. I'm slowly building up my ACCA playlist. So if you like this video, make sure you check out my previous ones and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up before you leave. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.